Patricia Altschul, that's right. We have the Grand Dame, the matriarch of Southern Charm here with us today. This From the Vault series has it has legs actually. So everyone seemed to love. Who did we have from the vault? We had Juicy Joe, Kathryn Dennis, Claudia Jordan, Jackie Goldschneider. Well, today we have a From the Vault, Patricia Altschul. Never, and I mean never before heard chat with Patricia Altschul. Never before heard. The only people that have heard this are me and Patricia and maybe Whitney, because he was in the room. He was coming and going in the house. I mean, Whitney's got to do what he's got to do. Other than me and Patricia, and probably Whitney, no one has heard this chat. This was recorded not even so long ago, but at a prior time before her beloved butler passed away, Michael. So, RIP Michael. He was such a huge part of the show. We talk about that. We talk about Kathyrn. We talk about Cameran Eubanks. Anyone want Cam back as much as I do? Obviously, we talk about the boys. We talk about JT, but Craig and Austen and Shep. And the show is just so different now, right? We have Southern hospitality. So this was recorded. This is a From the Vault, never before heard. My voice is cracking. Never before heard chat with Patricia Altschul. I have wanted Patricia on this podcast for decades. I haven't even done this for decades. I've only done this for years. I think I've wanted her on the podcast for about 6 years since my second episode. So we are continuing this. Seems to be a hit. This From the Vault. This is never before been heard. A chat with Patricia Altschul recorded at a prior time. So kick back, relax, and enjoy this chat with, I think, the best cast member of Southern Charm, Miss Patricia Altschul.
Impression is that it won't happen.
When you brought up his name, they weren't saying, Patricia, this is the best idea we ever heard. Thank you so much.
Well, I brought up several names. But I suspect there'll be a few perhaps changes and perhaps some new people. But let's make sure that we get renewed first.
One thing at a
That's
time.
the first step is the renewal, the announcement.
Hopefully that will be soon.
Hopefully.
What do you think of, Shep at the reunion, came out and said that he's been going through it and, he blacked out at BravoCon. He said, I don't have really any memory of BravoCon. And basically I'm at a crossroads, and he decided that he's not drinking liquor anymore and he's not doing any more shots. He's still doing beer, but he's addicted to liquor. So is this great? Are we taking responsibility? Like, does Shep have a drinking problem, or like just drinking beer is not exactly a step that really solves much?
Well, I mean, Shep, I like Shep because he's amusing, he's very smart, he's well read. I would say of the group, he and Whitney have that in common, and we're very close to Shep in that sense. And I think when they get together, it's like an old boys club. Drinking is just kind of part of the fun, and they all drink too much. When I'm with them, I drink too much. When I had the boys' dinner here, and I can see my white sofa right over there, I did something which to a Southerner is kind of unspeakably common. And that was and I had a martini before when we had cocktails. Then we had dinner and I had wine. And then we came back in here. And that's when Craig spilled the red wine on my sofa. And I said, Craig, that sofa costs $35,000. The tackiest, most common thing to a Southerner is to talk about money. And if I hadn't had 3 cocktails, I would never in a million years have said that. And then he broke the chair. I just paid $14,000 for that set of chairs. I mean, I would never, ever say that. And if we film again, I'm going to apologize to Craig because that is one of the hard and fast rules of Southern etiquette is you never talk about money. Not in New York. The first time I had dinner, in New York, I was with a bunch of Goldman Sachs guys and their wives. My husband was with Goldman Sachs for 50 years. You paid what for that apartment? Oh my God, well, I paid so, money was like the primary subject, but in the South, it never should be.
I agree. I tell people LA, it's all about fame and everyone wants to name drop. In New York, everyone talks money. That's like the first thing people talk about when they sit down.
Yeah, and it can be about anything. The restaurant, well, how much did the truffle cost? It didn't make any difference what it is. It's how much did it cost or how much did you pay for it? Shamelessly.
See, so you can put that in your book, that's one of the things that you don't do in the South. You don't talk money.
So, but the whole point is I would never have said that if I hadn't had, that was the two times for me on the show, and you do get caught up in it and it's fun and I'm with the guys and, oh, sure, I'll have another glass of wine. You get in the spirit, and whenever they're together, they all drink and they drink too much. All of them, not just Shep, but all of them. And the only other time I personally did was when Madison brought the shambogs. And I ended up on the floor. I slid off the sofa onto the floor, and I only had 3, but it does something to your system when it goes down that fast. So those are my 2, drunken moments.
Just 2 over 9 years is not so bad.
That's what I listen. I look at the housewives and I think, I'm not doing too badly.
Do you think you could have ever been a housewife if they did, if they started 9 years ago instead of Southern Charm, they started Real Housewife of Charleston. Do you think you could have been one?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, most of my friends here in Charleston, and I do have some women friends, but my 2 closest, or actually 3, are 3 married gay couples in Charleston, and they're my best friends. And they also have the biggest and the most beautiful houses here, and they are fabulous, handsome, rich, and just great company. I'd be housewives with them.
I was just gonna say
it would be a better show, I can tell you.
Well, that's a reality show right there. 3 fabulous gay couples in Charleston and you. There you go.
Listen, I'd do it in a minute. It would be great. I mean, their houses make mine look like a tar paper shack.
Wow. Well, speaking of your house, one of the longest relationships we saw on Southern Charm for the 9 seasons was you and your butler, Michael. I know you guys you went to visit him in Florida. Like, how is he doing post spinal cord injury?
And, I couldn't see him during COVID. That's when it happened. And he went down to Sarasota to be with his family and to be in an assisted living. And then, as I said, last year I had a break.
I don't know what that was either.
That's decline. Uh-oh. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still here.
Now what do I do?
Can you see me? Because I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all fine. Yeah, that's perfect.
So anyway, I went to Florida and got to see Michael, made a special trip to go see him because, my back put me out for 7 months, which made me mad as hell because I'm not one to, be incapacitated. I'm concerned about him. He's paralyzed from the chest down. it's difficult because the one thing that he loves is food, and have to be you have to be concerned with weight management, and it's difficult for him. So I worry about him, frankly. I hope he's all right. We had a great time.